Disclaimer. This video is made for entertainment purpose only. It doesn't mean to hurt anyone, and don't take it seriously.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Me podcast, you listen. Second episode, we look the same. We're in the same clothes, but I just wanted to share. I forgot to tell you, MC, when I went to Cleveland, I visited the Football Hall of Fame.
Oh,
So behind me is the bust of all of the players who have been inducted to the Football Hall of Fame.
did you see any Bo Jackson stuff?
I did. Saw Bo Jackson stuff. I'm going to take you on a quick tour of my stuff I did with my phone because my camera broke while I was there. So this is the introduction to the front of the Football Hall of Fame. This is where all of the current dudes are being honored. So that was it. And then there's
It's an interesting Texans uniform.
You haven't seen that uniform?
No, is that for like one of the Thursday games or something?
So this must be. So this is McMichael. He was inducted this year, 2024. There's his stuff, his shoes.
Mongo, Ming. Feel bad for him right now, suffering from
ALS.
ALS. Yeah, that's the same thing as Lou Gehrig's disease, right?
So this is pretty popular. They like to do shoes. They like to do people's people's uniforms and all that. They show that. So here is the first entry to the games of the first ever Super Bowl between the I think it's the Dogs is what originally were started in Canton, Ohio. And this is the no entry after you buy, and that's the what do you call that? The game pant with. What would you give it? They give out those game whatever. So
game balls?
I'll tell you who's playing. Then this is the entry to the first part of the Football Hall of Fame. They have all these players that are on there as far as it goes all the way back to Jim Thorpe. And then they show November 5th, 1917, where you can see the Canton Bulldogs were playing. That was the original uniforms. If you ever seen those old movies, there's the original team of the Canton Bulldogs, and then the footballs. So first ever.
This is a long time dream for you to check this out.
I've been there before, but this is different. Okay. So you see old photos. This is outside the Football Hall of Fame, class of 2024. This is the entrance to go in. There's a happy couple getting a picture. And then this is the history behind it. And originally the first person they talk about in football, pro football, is Jim Thorpe. He's a Native American football player who was also a track athlete, served in the war. They talk about him quite a bit. They had a statue of him in the middle of this part where they show all the old. And behind him, if you look back here, you see all of the I don't know why my marker keeps doing that. But this is all of the old current owners of the NFL. So they kind of put them in an old car. One of them is still alive from the original owners. Who do you think that wife is?
Wife.
Yep. Or maybe it's the daughter.
If it's a daughter, it'd be Virginia Hallis McCaskey, right?
Yep. She's in the background.
She's like 100 years old, isn't she?
Yeah, she's fairly old in this picture.
That's that picture.
So this is all of the footballs that they originally used. See those footballs, how they change shapes until we came to current
First one looked like a sponge.
First one looked like just a rugby ball. That was the original one right there.
Yeah,
it's pretty much just a round ball. So they probably started realizing that more people could throw the ball, so they probably wanted to create a more. Am I boring you? Jesus, man.
No.
So here's all the old uniforms back in the day. I can't even
say because I can't see myself on the thing. I always think like I can do things that won't be seen, but apparently.
So one of the old uniforms, and then at the very top here, look at the nose guard of the first ever face mask type of helmet.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It looks like Squidward.
Yeah, it does. Iron Man on the right.
So this is the one of the owners from the original. I think it was the Canton Bulldogs. He was one of the first. I think he was the first like commissioner of football. And then these are the old teams again. Lots of old history. It's funny how everybody's just super back. And this is Red Grange. If you remember him, he was a running back.
No Guardian helmets for them.
From the Chicago Bears back in the day. One of the funny things is when you listen to, they have a little phone you can listen to. When you listen to him on the phone, he's talking about being a professional football player. And they were like, "Oh, do you think you're popular?" And he said, "No, don't get paid much these days." 1925, probably got paid like $10 a game or what the frick it was.
Oh,
and he said that
here's a nickel. You're going to get killed.
If I wanted to be popular, I would have just been joined the mob. So these are all the football players and all the injuries they received before they had face masks and better equipment. One thing I'd like the NFL players to do is take a tour of this and see that when you twist your ankle, some of these guys are still playing with broken noses and freaking faces are demolished, but they're still playing. And guess what? They're not getting paid millions of dollars. So here's the heads.
It's also not influenced by referees and betting lines.
So here's all the heads of the bust of everybody who's been in. If you can kind of see up in the corner up here at the very top, you kind of see the years written up at the top up there.
Nice.
So those are the years that all these heads were put into place. And then these are all the heads. And so kind of cool. The heads get more detailed as we move through this. It's a large room. Obviously, you can see started like in 1925. I had to take a picture of some of my favorite linebackers. And it's not Lawrence Taylor or this one is one of my Nitsky from the Packers, number 66. And then I also took a picture, I think, of my wife. And then there is Jack Lambert from the Steelers. Guy was only 6'4", 215 pounds, but he had a size 15 size shoe.
Huh.
And then, of course, Raiders, all legends.
There he is.
John Madden.
That does look really detailed.
So they honored the Giants and all the players that are inducted into the Hall of Fame from the Giants. Obviously, Lawrence Taylor's in there. And then also Frank Gifford were the only two players that I really recognized. And then they also put out the original uniforms the Giants used to wear. More about the Bulldogs. There's Jack Lambert's shoes. They always have shoes. One of the things I thought it was funny is in that little writing, it says, you can kind of see it. He says, I don't think I'm a dirty player, but I don't have to pick up somebody and pat him on the back to prove I'm a nice guy. That's pretty funny shit. So lots of stuff's about the history, lots of marketing. They did a lot of marketing back then. They had a lot of dolls and like bobbleheads and all that crap for the NFL. This is the original camera they used to film the games from ABC. This is interesting too. This is players' bodies, lower bodies, and the size of them. Believe it or not, I fit in Jerome Bettis's body. So,
I'm Coach Bus.
So they also have hands. They show the hands. A lot of my hands are about the same size. Some of the arms are big. They show the original Hall of Fame jacket, which is cool because there's a lot of detail on the jacket. That. A lot of detail on the buttons, a lot of details on the patches, also the threading. Lots of crap in there that makes it. One of my favorite players from the Raiders, Howie Long. This is cool. They have this in the middle that talks about commitment, integrity, courage, respect, and honesty. It's a cool saying for football, and I think it's something that coaches should incorporate with their players. Also, all the rings. We had to look at and honor that the Oakland Raiders have 3 Super Bowl rings. So just remember that. And then more crap about the stuff. Now, this part was cool. If you ever seen the Lombardi Trophy in real life, that was pretty cool to see. Here it is. Pretty awesome.
Okay.
On there is fingerprints. And I don't know if you can get in there and zoom in, but see the fingerprints?
Yeah.
It's just weird. There would be fingerprints still on it. So, and then you go around, you check out the trophies, check about the histories. There's a lot of documentation about Black athletes and some of the running backs back in the day. Obviously, one of them is your favorite.
There he is, sweetness, Walter Payton.
And then they show a lot of players' jerseys, stuff that they dedicated to them that they got from the games. One of the interesting things about this glass case is in there marks COVID. There's COVID face mask what was the Kansas City Chiefs name? The quarterback, the coach that wore that big shield over his face during COVID. And then they also have these tracers. What? So in history of the Football Hall of Fame, there's COVID history because it was a big part of their year. Let me see if I get some more shit in here. I just took a lot of pictures. Football Hall of Fame, some more jerseys. And just one of the interesting things about these helmets, see if I get to it. See all that netting in there? Can you see the netting inside these helmets? How they have like that little pad?
Yeah, I can see that.
Some of these helmets, dude, are made with rope.
Huh.
There's rope inside those damn helmets.
What is that
crazy? I don't know. This is another interesting I found out. The Oakland Raiders put out their own record of play calls and talking during games.
Huh.
I like the Raiders, but I don't think I like them that much that I'd buy a record. They also honor the black
sleeping to the sounds of the Oakland Raiders play
calling. They
do 1971.
They have a part in here, the Black College Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool to show all the black athletes who have played in colleges and also have played in the NFL. They honor them by showing some of the stuff they played. And then at the end, you can purchase an actual helmet from the Football Hall of Fame's store. And the cool thing about it is it's cheaper than a real helmet. It's only $180. It's pretty cool. So
you can purchase an ice cream helmet at the end.
And there's me and my wife. So
that's a cool pick.
So anyways, that was fun. We went and saw the Football Hall of Fame. And then we saw the field and where they play the Football Hall of Fame games. It's pretty cool. That was pretty cool too. That was really neat to see and got to see a lot of history.
And they have their own field, right? That they host games with. That's on the site. Right. Yeah, that's how that works.
Let me share with you. I'll show you the picture of the field. Let's see if I got to redo the whole stupid login. Some of the high schools play games there. So
that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. So
Raiders.
So there's the field. So you can see where this is at the far end of the field where the scoreboard, where the Football Hall of Fame is kind of my marker. It's like it's kind of off to you. I don't know how you're looking at this, but it's over here. It's over this area.
Yeah.
So it's kind of catty corner of the field. Parking's really bad, but they made it like a Ferris wheel there now, and they have all this crap in there that's kind of cool. Here's a little video of me filming it. Cool skybox. It's right next to the freeway. And then kind of over here to this part, if you kind of go that way, there's like a shopping center and food and everything they kind of put into that whole deal. Here's the helmet that's out there. It's kind of a cool helmet. You can buy that replica of that little helmet for like $180. It's pretty cool. Like I said, it's cheaper than clothes. And then Joe Namath is a big staple of the Football Hall of Fame. Like he's in a lot of stuff in the Football Hall of Fame. And then I wanted to show you this too. When I originally went there about 24 years ago, this was the original entrance to the Football Hall of Fame. You walked through those doors and they changed it and they moved it around. So that building behind it, and there's the field, all of that's different. So that never used to be there. It used to be a smaller field, looked like a high school field. Now it's all bigger. So now this is the new entrance to get to the Football Hall of Fame.
It's all jazzed up.
It's bigger. It's a lot bigger.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's pretty cool. I like it. So anyways, that was it. That was my Football Hall of Fame tour.
Yeah, it looks like it's a lot of fun there.
So next thing I wanted to share with you, I just thought it was funny. Then we'll talk about the movie. Don't worry, we'll get to that.
Had the same background behind him the whole time. They haven't said one lick about it.
Did you see the Chinese zoo admitted they use painted dogs for their panda exhibit? Did you see that?
How long ago was that? I thought I seen that a long time ago.
About 4 weeks ago, but I forgot to share with you. So-called pandas began barking and panting like dogs. Here they are. That doesn't look like anything like a panda.
What would they do? Kill them all off and then just poor dogs?
Dogs like, hey, I got paint all over me. How do I get this off?
Why are they making me act like a panda? I don't even know what a panda is.
So funny. Yes, they are. How do they would get away with this? They kind of look like pandas if no one really knows what they look like.
Strange those pandas are acting just like dogs.
Strange those pandas have names like Skippy. So
strange those pandas answers to come here, boy.
Those pandas have a dog tag on them. They're starting to license pandas.
I didn't know pandas like to lick their own crotch just like dogs.
It would have been funnier if they tried to do it like a dachshund or something else. Just nothing that looks like a panda. They're just spray painted black and white.
Ferret. It's a tiny panda right here.
There's a person. Just a human painted black and white, just sitting there.
Bunch of fur on top of
him. I'm a panda. No, you're not.
Talking. Here, throw me some peanuts, please.
Talking pandas. They're doing a brief TED talk. So when we first started in this area, these pandas are giving like a presentation.
Little known fact is people don't know we can talk now, but we just never chose to.
Yeah, you missed it.
We're speaking English for some reason.
I just think it's funny. They say initially the zoo claimed the animals were a breed of panda dog, but later admitted to dying the two chows. You can't even trust the zoo. You can't even trust the zoo anymore.
They later admitted when they couldn't get out of their lie. They just finally admitted, fuck it, they're dogs.
You can't even trust the damn zoo.
No, you don't know what you're looking at. Told you that from my dad's book. Quoted my grandfather.
Shit, that's real.
Good shit. He said that. Don't believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see.
Yeah, don't believe those dogs are pandas. What's wrong with you?
Exactly. It looks like a dog. It smells like a dog. It probably is a dog. Not a panda.
It looks, barks, and acts like a dog. It's probably a dog.
Doesn't matter how they spray paint it. It even bends chiller.
This is a dog.
What the hell was that movie?
With the Meet the Fockers.
Yes, yeah. Or meet the parents.
Spray paint the cats.
Like Mr. Jinkle or
Mr. Jingles.
Whatever the hell his name was.
I like it when remember when he said he flushed the toilet. He can't flush the toilet, fucker. He doesn't have any thumbs.
Doesn't he have video footage at the end or something of him flushing the toilet and freaking out?
Yeah, then he's trying to get the toilet all. Here's another one I thought was funny. Oh wait, I gotta stop sharing this because you gotta hear that. You gotta hear the audio of this. It's just this dude's dog. I think this is funny. This is every dog owner's nightmare.
It's my bed. You move. Get out of here, loser. Hey, what the fuck? I'm just trying to lay down. Can I lay down?
Every dog owner's nightmare. Dog turns on you.
Why don't you just spray him with some water?
Make it worse.
Yeah, probably like a cat.
All right. So let's get into the Peanutbutter Falcon. As a wrestling fan, what did you think of Peanutbutter Falcon?
It started, I think I told you this off camera. It started off slow a little bit, but I think I had started to really enjoy it when Dakota Johnson meets Shia LaBeouf's character Tyler, I think it was, in that store where he's trying to barter down whatever he was buying, and then he's covering for him at that point because basically Zach, I think it is the main character, he kind of escapes for some reason he's been confined to a retirement home because he's an orphan or whatnot.
I will give you the bio. Peanutbutter Falcon is an adventure story set in the world of a modern Mark Twain. It begins with Zach, 22, which is his real name. A young man with Down syndrome runs away from a nursing home where he lives to chase his dreams to become a professional wrestler by attending the wrestling school, the Saltwater Redneck. Though circumstances beyond their control, Tyler is a small-town outlaw on the run, becomes Zach's unlikely coach and ally. Together, they wind through deltas, elude capture, drink whiskey, find God, catch fish, and convince Eleanor, a kind nursing home employee with a story of her own, to join them on their journey. There you go. It's featuring Zach Gosselin, Dakota Johnson, which you may have seen her in 50 Shades of Grey, and Shia LaBeouf and Thomas Hayden, which you've seen on Wings.
Thomas Hayden Church, Sandman, Wings, So he played the saltwater, is it Redneck?
Saltwater Redneck. That was his wrestling deal. So
also guest stars Jake the Snake Roberts and Mick Foley.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Sam, I think. Sam, the saltwater Redneck's buddy, and then Foley plays the referee.
So I guess Mick Foley's in it too, huh? Mick Foley's
he's the ref at that near the end. He's the ref.
So I thought it was a cool movie because it had kind of like a kind-hearted. I like Shia LaBeouf. I think he's pretty cool. I think he's interesting.
Great actor.
If you've never seen this movie, you're kind of missing out on something that's, I don't know. I think it's interesting. So just in the sake of always getting copyrighted, we're going to share the trailer with you so you can see it. And hopefully we don't get erased. So here's the trailer.
3, 2, 1.
So obviously it's an independent film, I'm assuming, correct?
Yes, correct.
So Shia LaBeouf is like a fisherman kind of dude who does stuff, and then he gets in trouble and has to make her on the run, runs into this kid, Zach. And then Zach, they do the little journey. It is kind of
blind man, they run into him.
Yeah, that's right. So Little Miss Sunshine's a good movie too.
That was an independent.
That's it. So there's the wrestling school that he wants to go to. He has a videotape of this, and then he takes off and goes down to find him. I like that part where they said a half-naked boy with Down syndrome.
What? Why would they not have pushed some clothes out through that window?
Remember he greased up, remember? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's like, didn't think that one through, did you, Zach?
No. So anyways, this is the movie pretty much in a nutshell. It's pretty cool. It's probably one of my, I've seen it twice. I've actually watched it twice. I thought it was pretty interesting. My review of it is it's just something that's got a cool twist to it. When you see Peanutbutter Falcon, it looks stupid. Like it looks like something that's going to be dumb, but it actually had a funny ending, and it had a good story to it. So that was my take on the whole thing.
Yeah, I think much like a series I ended up finishing afterwards, now that it's on Netflix, Heels. People think, oh, it's wrestling. If they see the wrestling parts of it, that is. A lot of the trailer doesn't really show that part. They think, oh, it's the wrestling film. But like the Heel series is a lot about relationships and a lot of good dialogue and written. I would put this up there, like wrestling is kind of the backdrop of it in some ways.
So let me ask you, trying to get. Let me ask you that. Do you think that, well, let's just go to this scene right here. This is the scene. This is the greatest scene of Peanutbutter Falcon. He finally gets to wrestle. He finally gets into
You haven't seen it. It's too late. We're spoiling it for you.
He finally gets into the wrestle, and he wrestles Jake the Snake, which we're not too sure why he has to wrestle Jake the Snake. But he goes in, and his character is a falcon, or is it peanut? His character is a Peanutbutter Falcon, correct?
Yeah, that's kind of the name they came up with Shia LaBeouf when they
were hanging out by the fire.
Yeah.
So his character is a Peanutbutter Falcon, and here he is. Did he throw him? That was
and the drama's right there, folks. You'll have to watch the movie to find out if
what
Shia
happens
LaBeouf lives or dies,
if he
or
dodges it and
if he gets hit by it, even
Bumblebee shows up and saves him, because that could happen.
Dakota Bumblebee.
Bumblebee could show up and save him. So, anyways, that was pretty much Now, I watched Heels when it was out on
Stars,
right? So I got to ask you.
Did you finish the
whole thing?
Oh, you did. That's all.
I got to ask you: is Heels a callback to the movie Iron Claw?
Well, there is some sad similarities to it, because you had maybe they were thinking of the Von Erich family because the father committed suicide right at the beginning. It has some heavy themes in it. I mean, when I watched, you might remember this. I don't know how long you did watch it. That argument after they leave the counselors between Stephen Amell's character, the Jack Spade, and his wife, Stacy Spade. That was some pretty heavy shit there. I mean, I don't think you've seen stuff like that normally in any movie and TV series. That was as real as you could probably picture an argument, because you could see both sides. He's trying to do this. She wants her husband. And that was the dialogue and writing was really good in the series. Like I said, the wrestling is kind of the backdrop. And I've tried to tell this to Stephen Bell fan, who he was a fan of Arrow, a friend of mine. I was just saying, like, he might not be a wrestling fan, but the series it's really well done. I mean, the actors are really good, and they have to do some stunts or some wrestling in there because they have to perform on the show. It's a well done series.
Well, they said that they actually learned how to wrestle from
was it Chavo Guerrero? I know he's done a lot of stunt work.
Because I think he was in it. So
I know CM Punk and AJ Lee were in it.
They were in it in the second season.
Yeah. He played Ricky Rabies, and she played El Dorado. That was one of the funniest parts when he comes back in the ring frothing in one of the matches later on. I think it's season 2.
I didn't know that's what his name was.
That was his name, yeah.
But it did have it had some cool storylines. They did say that they actually trained for this. They actually trained for real wrestling. The guy that's from basically well known for his what is it, that movie called the movie where they're chasing everybody, the Hunger Games. That's pretty much where he was known for. What's his brother's name, the blonde-haired guy?
Oh, Ludwig. Yeah, Ludwig, or Alexander Ludwig.
Yeah.
Ace Spade, or the
Ace
Condemned.
Spade, yeah. So Ace was really he was actually pretty good in this movie, but they said he learned how to actually wrestle. They taught him wrestling moves.
Yeah, he's doing like moonsaults and shit, so he looks like he's
so they taught him how to do all that. But I thought it was a really good series. I don't think it's coming back though. I think it got canceled.
You don't think so? Yeah, I mean, there's a chance maybe Netflix could bring it back, because that cliffhanger, I mean, I don't know if we want to spoil it for anybody, but that cliffhanger is pretty heavy shit at the end.
Yeah, they just kind of just left it hanging. And what I kept thinking about was my buddy MC trying to run a wrestling business. That's all I kept thinking about.
Sad. I mean, that would probably have been me if I had a wife. And
what did you think about the other promoter guy? I didn't like that character. I thought he was kind of lame.
Yeah,
he's the dude that's been on like TV shows as like a nerdy guy, and then he's now the promoter of this other wrestling business.
Gully, I think, is his name in the show. Charlie Gully, or whatever the fuck his name is.
I thought he was not the right guy for that character.
Yeah, he's a little weird in there. But I think they tried to make him kind of like he was eccentric, kind of millionaire, or whatever the hell he was. But like, if you're a millionaire, like, you're competing with a Georgia Duffy League. Like, what are you doing with your money? Like,
a millionaire.
Yeah,
you're a millionaire. You're not a millionaire.
Throwing around money like he is. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it was okay. I mean, there was like I said, it was well written and stuff. The stuff they had, the one guy jumping ship, and then they had him and he saves his brother. I mean, they explain a lot of stuff. If it didn't really gonna make sense, well, why did he do that? They were quick to try to use wrestling logic and a lot of the stuff too. So whoever obviously was writing the show was obviously a wrestling fan, like you said. Maybe they knew the Von Erich story really well, so maybe it was kind of drawing inspiration from that too. But yeah, it's well worth.
And what is this on? It's on Netflix now.
It's on Netflix now. Netflix purchased the rights to it, which stars. I mean, you think they would have gave them time to wrap it up with the way that cliffhanger was, but I mean, thinking about,
I think it had a lot of.
I mean, it could get a season 3, but it doesn't have one.
I just saw one. I was looking for this video. It said
it's a season 3. It's a fan made trailer or something. Because
let's see,
it stops at 2. I literally just watched it on Netflix. There is no season 3. That's what a buddy of mine who actually kind of got me to watch it, telling me that the cliffhanger is, he says, because I don't know how we got to talking about it, but like he said, it ends on a pretty crazy cliffhanger.
Here's the part that I think has a lot of similarity between The Wrestler, the movie, and also the Iron Claw movie, is that they all kind of have a similar storyline. Like they all have like a wrestler who's trying to make or break. Like the wrestler at the end when he does his jump off the corner, and no one knows if he's dying after that or what happens to him, because it just ends. Same with Iron Claw, just kind of ends with everybody dying except the dad and the wife. I mean the mom, and it's just him left alone, and no one knows exactly where this is going afterwards. And so same thing with this movie. It just seems like it ends with that final match, that season, the trailer, season 2. And then it just kind of what's going to happen? You're thinking there's going to be a season 3, and there might have been a season 3. There might have been an opportunity to write it, but they probably just said, don't want to deal with it. So,
well, I mean, it was canceled before they could do it. So clearly they must have thought. And if you thought logically, like, hey, is this show well written? Does it deserve a season 3? Definitely. But
I thought it was really good.
Stars didn't think so, obviously. But yeah, you never know. I mean, I think Stephen Amell, the head star of that went on to, I think he's in a show called Suits. I don't know anything about that show, but I mean, most of them I don't think are committed to anything where they probably couldn't do it. Even if you did like a 6 season, what is it, 8 normally, 8 episodes, but even if you did half of that to wrap up the series would be cool even.
Well, guess what else came out today that's coming out in a few weeks? My favorite, Cobra Kai.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Its way.
So we know when it's returning now officially.
Trailer November 15th. Second trailer dropped today.
Oh, I did not see this yet.
Now this is part I think is funny. Nobody goes to a karate tournament just walking around in their gis. So
they do. They do.
They act like they all just show up already dressed to fight, like
on the plane in a gi.
There is a locker room.
Karate tournament. The Sekai Tai. Come on, y'all, let's go.
This one, I hate to say it, but I think I'm gonna be disappointed in season 6. I think I am. It just seems like it's the same shit over and over and over.
Welcome to Barcelona, bitch.
There's no way that we can win.
Now, if I recall, this is the second part of season 6 of 3 parts.
Oh shit! So this is.
At this point,
why don't they just call this 7?
We knew this wasn't going to be easy.
And the last one 8.
Cobra Kai is one dojo out of 16. It's not us against
them. Yeah, you never know if these people are going to live long enough. I mean,
yeah,
anymore.
John looks a little old.
Tori chose the other side.
And every time they do this, everybody looks older.
Where's
next day?
But we can't keep letting her get in our heads like this.
Kenny is 5 years older.
Kenny comes back with a beard. I mean, Ralph Macchio's looking pretty rough too. He's looking tough. Goes global. Cobra Kai season 6.
Quiet.
Wonder why all of a sudden the volume stopped. They're like, yeah, we don't want enough. You cannot share this anymore.
We don't want to spoil it on your little podcast. Yeah. Showing a trailer.
So, anyways, that's coming out this pretty soon, November 15th, along with the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. There's a lot of shit coming up on Netflix, and Netflix is also, and that's on Netflix, and also an NFL game. So there's a lot of shit coming up on Netflix. So make sure you subscribe to not only our channel but Netflix, Peacock, whatever else you can. Just rack up the bills. Fuck cable. Just get as many apps as you can to watch shit. All right, me podcast you listen. Thanks for listening to a rambling episode about the Football Hall of Fame, Peanutbutter Falcon, Netflix coming up,
Heels.
Cobra Kai, and Heels. Check out Heels and Cobra Kai on Netflix. And thanks for watching, MC. Always a pleasure. Coach JC.
Thank you.
Take it easy.